Good evening, good morning, and good day, and thank you so much for once again choosing to spend a little bit of your time with me. In the news today, I hit 200 subscribers. Thank you so much to everyone who comments on my videos. I just you know it means the world to me. Because of that, I was going to be doing r/iamatotalpieceofshit today, but instead I thought we'd do a slightly special episode today and have a look at my favourite hotbed of shit on the internet. My original love, and I've been meaning to do a video about this subject for so long now. And anyway, I'm so excited now to finally be showing you guys this. I know you're going to love it. If you haven't seen or heard of this before, I kind of envy you, but I need to shatter your innocence. So come with me and let's take a little look at just, I think, 4 of the posts that were on the front page, all from today, on Mumsnet. If you're not prepared for this one, then I advise you to adequately prepare yourself. To 200 subscribers. Here's to you guys, not me. It might seem like not the hugest number in the world to anyone else watching, but my goal was 100 at the end of this year. And when I hit 100 earlier, I thought, right, set a new goal of 200 by the end of the year. Where to now? 1 million club, baby! So we start with some fairly standard Mumsnet. This is the sort of post you'll see frequenting the front page of Mumsnet every single day. To think she stole my Cath Kidston mug. I have quite a few CK mugs. I've grown tired of them in the last few years due to poor quality and a preference for neutral white company-looking things. There was, however, Winnie the Pooh collections out again recently, and I bought the highly desired by fans mug. It's really lovely. I got 2. I had a new neighbour round last night for some dinner, who I discovered also liked CK. She was shocked that I had not one but 2 of the mugs. We got on quite well. DC, which is Darling Children, are a similar age. I went downstairs this morning and into my kitchen. 1 mug is gone. It's the conspiracy of the century. 1 mug is gone. I never ever moved them from their place. It's vanished. Nobody else has been here apart from darling husband, who doesn't touch that sort of thing and doesn't have any need to use a mug anyway. He never drinks coffee or tea or water or drinks anything at all out of a mug, ever. That's strange. I've asked, and he says it really wasn't him. He has no idea. Am I being unreasonable to think she stole my mug? Yes, you are. Your partner probably broke it and doesn't want to admit it. Yes, she is a thieving thief bastard. Get round there now and demand it back. Tell her you've got nanny cam. Don't take any shit. The advice you'll get from people on Mumsnet is always 10 out of 10, sane and sound of mind. Again on the front page. Darling daughter, 8 years old, told me that yesterday she saw a lunchtime supervisor take a fish finger off the tray at the serving hatch with her fingers and eat it. Darling daughter said no other adult saw. She has seen this staff member do this before. Would you email school and pass on what darling daughter said? A few bits of context. I believe darling daughter. She is not likely to have made this up at the age of 8 before children have any real understanding of what lies mean. The lunchtime supervisor has been working there for about 30 years. She's very harsh with the kids, based on what darling daughter has told me. And anecdotally, other parents have said that even the staff are a bit scared of her. Sounds like bullying of staff member. That's horrible. School has an outbreak of norovirus last week, so it's been very hot on infection control, washing hands, etc. Are you now trying to blame this norovirus outbreak on this staff member? That's getting into some fairly allegatory grounds right there. I know she probably didn't touch anyone else's food, but it's not right, is it? If nothing else, it's unprofessional and sets a bad example to the kids. But I don't want to bother the school if it's not really a big deal. It's not a big deal. Leave it. Would you report it or leave it? Yabu, I should not report it. Yanbu, I should email the school about it. If there's a sob story on Mumsnet, then all the other mums will rally behind that woman and try to cheer her up, but also feed her loads of like sort of insidious, fearful, paranoid bullshit that'll get her afraid of her colleagues or loved ones. And in any other situation, the mums of Mumsnet will just shoot you down and be pretty fucking savage. It is pretty entertaining to read. Get a grip and tell your child to get a matching one. She might have been hungry and is on low income. I wouldn't embarrass her. It's a fish finger. That's fair enough. That's not going to make anyone sick. I'd hate to think of anyone going hungry. Occasional voices of reason in there. A fish finger? Seriously, this wouldn't even be on my radar. I couldn't really care about this, and I'm surprised an 8-year-old noticed and thought it worth mentioning to you. But you cared enough to comment. My favourite kind of comments are the ones where they're like, I couldn't care about this. I don't care about this. This is pathetic. Nobody should care about this. Why would anyone write this? I am now going to comment and write about how nobody should care about this and how you shouldn't even written it in the first place, because I am that entitled to my fucking opinion. And yes, you are entitled to your opinion. That is the glory of a public forum, a platform upon which people can speak and share their opinions. You are literally entitled by that platform to share your opinion. It's just fucking hysterical that you don't see the irony or hypocrisy in any of your words or actions at any point in time. Mumsnet mums. Fuck. You need more hobbies and to teach your daughter to stop being a snitch. She needs more hobbies, yes. The whole snitches get stitches thing, don't teach people to snitch. It's kind of unnecessary, and it's what leads to a lot of the gang violence in places like central London. If people were more willing to report things to the police, less of this shit would occur and more would be preventable. Encouraging your kids to be afraid of reporting things to higher authorities is one of the most stupid and fucking retarded things you can do, you stupid fucking morons. I love how with Scottish people you can always read their accent. Tell your precious darling daughter not to be a wee clape, but if you think this is something to report, I can see where she got her attitude from. Apologies to Scottish people who might be offended by my god-awful Scottish accent. So from there, we turn to the simply paranoid. And if you are paranoid, don't go on Mumsnet, for all of your fears will be confirmed by the equally paranoid, schizophrenic fucking nutjobs that inhabit the forums of Mumsnet on a day-to-day basis. Is my darling partner hiding something? I was unsure what topic to put this as, but anyway, I'll try to keep it short. Am I being unreasonable to think something happened with darling partner last night? So he went out last night with a big group of his mates. They all ended up back at one of his mates' houses for drinks after, and I spoke to him at 2 a.m. on the phone, as he still wasn't home, and he promised he wouldn't be back late. I messaged at about 3:30, he didn't read it, then tried ringing him at 6 a.m. His phone was off. Roll on 7:30 this morning, and he finally strolls through the door. I'm obviously really fuming as I'm very heavily pregnant and can't believe he would go out literally all night when I could pop at any time. When he came home, I could hear him downstairs for a while, and when he finally comes into the bedroom, he's in just his boxers. I have a moan at him for being home so late and then ask him why he's taken his clothes off downstairs. He then claims he took them off in the bathroom, upstairs, and that they're on the landing so not to wake me up getting unchanged. So I'm thinking, okay, whatever. 10 minutes later, I get up to go to the toilets and I realise his clothes aren't in the bathroom or the landing, so I go downstairs and then he gets out of bed and follows me. I ask where his clothes are and he says they're in the washing machine. Washing machine is not turned on. So at this point, I'm confused as to why he'd lied and I question him about it because it's just an odd thing for him to do since I always seem to do the washing recently. He says I'm being weird and that he can't be asked to get his things out of the washing machine, and then he doesn't understand why I'm questioning why he stripped off as soon as he got home and put his things in the machine. So I take his word for it and think maybe I'm being a bit paranoid. So we go off to bed and I fall asleep, but I keep getting woken to the sound of him going in and out of the bedroom, going downstairs to make a drink, going to the loo, etc. I've come downstairs at about 11:30 this morning and he's still fast asleep because of his night out, and I've just realised that whilst I was asleep, he's put a wash on and washed his clothes from last night. He probably shat in them. Probably puked in them, sharted himself. Like, tripled himself maybe, who knows. Boy done goofed, and he's too ashamed to admit it to you. That sucks. The real issue here is him not being there for you whilst you're that heavily pregnant. That is the issue. You should be bollocking him, talking to him about his responsibilities and his attitude towards your relationship and raising a fucking child with you. The fact that you are ready to pop at any minute and he is off getting plastered with his friends, that is irresponsible parenting. That is fucking pathetic, and you do need to have words with him for that. But getting paranoid that he's cheating on you, that doesn't help anything. So, my first thought was blood or evidence of sex. That's a really odd thing to do. Sorry, OP. Let their words creep into your mind. Sorry, OP, especially as you are so heavily pregnant, but if you doesn't do the laundry on a regular basis, that is very suspicious. Weird as fuck. Either they smelt of perfume or sex, or they had makeup on them, sperm or blood on, or something. Blood, maybe. Blood, sperm, and makeup. All of them. That's the only thing I can think was so important for him to wash his clothes before you saw them. The only things, the 5 things you listed there. Or something being quite a few things that it could possibly be. Unless, do you have a massive problem with him smoking or something, and they stank of smoke? More likely to shagging someone else, though, given he was out all night and acting so weird. You're not going to get the truth out of him, though. Man, my mate's ex must have thought this stuff about him all the time, because, like, they were together for, 11 years, and he was a terrible boyfriend. Terrible boyfriend. I haven't seen him for a year now. It sucks. But anyway, he did not admit to her or let her know for about 7 years that he had a very heavy cannabis and later MDMA addiction. Like, he went to the cinema with her and stuff on MDMA. It was mad. Absolutely mad. She never found out. It's crazy. She just never figured it out, even though they lived together. But she must have thought he was cheating on him, because he would, come stay around my mate's house, come spend the entire weekend around our houses. He lived in London, we lived in the south of the UK. He'd come spend an entire weekend around one of our houses. Maybe that's what your boy was doing. Getting fucking high with the lads. Sorry, girl. Literally sounds like you're dating my old mate. I would have got the clothes out of the machine when I found them in there. He is definitely hiding something, maybe something of nothing. When he wakes up, I would ask him what's going on, explaining that if he can't tell the truth, I would have to suspect the worst, but not explain what the worst is. Emotionally manipulate him. Be an abusive partner to get to the truth. Yes, use emotionally abusive tactics to manipulate your partner to get to the bottom of this. And even if you don't get to the bottom of this, to just hold some kind of superiority over them in this whole situation. Don't go down that path. Do not be as fucked up as this commenter is in the head. Out all night indicates alcohol and drugs to me. Definitely drugs. Definitely drugs. Something up. Something up! Can you look at his phone? Yes, just go full nut job and start going through his texts. That's not fucking whack job at all. He's likely cheated. Anything else he would have fessed up if it was something like vomit. He clearly hasn't pissed or shit himself. He was sound enough to work out he needed to take his clothes off downstairs, including removing his underwear and putting the shorts back on, and to follow you when you got up and sneak back to switch the machine on when you were asleep. One thing only, I'm afraid. Anecdotal story. Once, your boy, Abda, a very British drug addict, was so drunk, I was walking from my house to a friend's house. I drank a bottle of gin on the walk. Just a bottle of Gordon's gin, bought it at the Tesco, hour walk, drank the whole thing. Got to his house and realised I needed to vomit. I also knew that it was going to be messy, projectile, nasty fucking vomit. So I go to his toilet and I proceeded to strip myself naked. I took off my shirt and folded my shirt, took off my trousers, folded my trousers. I took off my socks and put them in my shoes, took off my boxer shorts, folded everything up, placed them on top of my shoes. Then I found some magazines that were in his bathroom for, and placed those magazines on top of the clothes, on top of the clothing pile, so that they would not get ruined by what was about to happen. I then proceeded to projectile vomit everywhere, and as my friend described it, painted his bathroom a lovely colour of yellow-green. It dripped from the ceiling. I wish I was exaggerating. Yeah. I had a bit of a binge drinking issue when I was younger. Who knows? Whatever. I kind of believe that you can be, and any paramedic that would have seen me at that time would have considered me paralytically drunk. I was in a dangerous state. So I can believe that somebody can be so violently unwell and so drunk that they can do some incredibly self-degrading things, but also still perform in a way when that sort of subconscious mind takes over and it can just take over for half a minute to a minute and enable you to do completely sort of sound of mind sober things like washing your clothes, taking your clothes off, stripping completely down to nothing other than one item of clothing that hasn't been soiled and chucking them in the wash, and then forgetting to put the wash on, being so drunk that you forget where you got undressed and, you know, mistakenly telling the story a bit when you're telling it back. And then, yeah, thinking, shit, these clothes are still covered in my own shit and piss and vomit. I need to get this wash on, and putting the wash on, sneaking down later and doing it. I can definitely get that story from the male perspective if that is what has happened. If he has been out cheating on you, gutted, mate, that sucks. I'm in an extra bad mood now, by the way, because I was recording and the camera died, and I don't know particularly exactly how much I lost or where to start from again. So, I'm going to try and make ends meet. Sorry, you were not being unreasonable. If it was anything other than sex, he would just say, not fuck about immediately washing his clothes in case you do. Even piss, he would blame a mate. How do you know this guy? How do you know this woman's fiance or partner or whatever he is so well that you know that is how he would act? You can't possibly know. Stop feeding your own paranoias to this woman, you insidious, manipulative fucking bitches. Sounds like he was on cocaine anyway. And now we get to the one that inspired me to cover Mumsnet today, because as I say, I was going to do a standard r/I'm a total piece of shit. Well, not a standard one, but a special one for my 200 subscribers special. But then I read this. I just thought, let's have a look at Mumsnet. Just part of me was bored, and I thought, let's have a look at Mumsnet. Let's see if anything is on there that will inspire me today. And holy shit, inspiration was found. Fuck. If you want a total piece of shit and to get mildly triggered, because I can almost guarantee that if you have not experienced some similar experiences to this, then you will know somebody who has experienced something like this. And if you have had something like this happen to you, I pray it was only once or twice. Because even once or twice is fucking miserable. But this post implies that this is kind of ongoing behavior from this parent. And I'm not joking here, I really worry for this kid's mental health. They're going to have a lot of issues growing up. This is abuse. And it's kind of hilarious, this parent outing themselves in such a disgusting manner. I hope that the Mumsnet admins can somehow report this post to the police, because quite simply, this is a form of emotional abuse. How long do you stay cross when they've behaved really badly? How long do you stay cross and off with your kids if they've been really naughty? My soon-to-be 9-year-old, so 8-year-old, behaved incredibly badly earlier. We were all supposed to head out to meet friends for lunch. So at this point you might be thinking, oh, what? They threw a fucking knife at your eldest child's head. They, set fire to something. They flooded the bathroom. What could they have done that is actually like something that you might have to tell your kid off for, teach them not to do that again in the future because it is really naughty and dangerous? What could it possibly be? We were all supposed to head out to meet friends for lunch, but when we had to change plans about which restaurant to go to, my youngest, darling son boy, I guess, totally kicked off and refused to go, screaming, getting under the bed, etc. an 8-year-old screaming and hiding under the bed. Okay, this is going weird places. You changed the restaurant you were going to, and this caused your kid to have an emotional breakdown. Sounds like they were experiencing something called overload, which is something that happens really frequently with autistic kids. It's incredibly common if plans are changed. They get a certain plan stuck in mind, the plan is changed, and it ruins them. It can absolutely destroy their day. It's something that can be learned to be dealt with and handled better, but for an 8-year-old, incredibly overwhelming. They're just going to need your support and love and help with a situation like that. So let's see what you're doing about it, huh? No deep reason, just claims not to like the food there. He does. Sounds like I might be on the money with this one. It went on for half an hour, at which point he was screaming for half an hour and hiding under the bed. Jesus. At which point my darling husband and eldest went without us. I was furious with my son and really let rip. Told him no iPad for a week and fully intend to see it through. 1, why does your 8-year-old have an iPad? That is completely fucked up. You should not be raising your kids with an iPad. No 8-year-old should have a tablet device. It is completely unnecessary. Secondly, punishing him for having an emotional breakdown, letting rip at him for screaming and hiding under his bed because he was traumatized by something. You fucking sadistic piece of shit. Inevitably, he's remorseful now, but I've been extremely off to him. Not ignoring him completely, but he made his own lunch and has been trying to hug me, write me notes, give me his teddy, etc. Why do you sound disgusted by these things? Why do you sound repulsed by your kid apologizing to you? Apologizing when he has done nothing wrong. Apologizing for you being an emotionally manipulative shithead fucking parent. And you're ignoring him for that. You're making an 8-year-old feed themselves. An 8-year-old make their own lunch. An 8-year-old who understands literally nothing about the basics about nutrition. You are making feed themselves. After they've had a breakdown, you, the adult, have exploded and let rip. What the fuck? Every story I've looked at, everything I have covered over this past year, and you have earned yourself. You're not worse than the fucking pedo rapists, but you come straight under them. Straight under them. Yeah, that means the thing you're doing I currently rate worse than murder in a lot of instances. Emotionally traumatizing and scarring a child like that, an innocent fucking child like that, it would be kinder to just hit them. Because that they could talk to a counsellor about when they're an adult and understand very, very easily was just you being physically abusive. But this will take them years of coping strategies and education to learn that what you did as a parent was emotionally manipulative and abusive. He tried to give you his teddy, for fuck's sake. You fucking piece of shit. I've told him I'm not interested, and whilst I'm answering direct questions, I'm not chatting to him, playing a game with him, or showing any interest. How long do you generally keep it up? I have to admit after a while it gets hard. As I say, the no iPad or snack rule is staying for a week regardless. He did something similar a few weeks ago, and clearly hasn't learned a lesson, so I need to see this through. My husband is also furious and will be back soon, so it's going to be a fun afternoon. The pair of you are emotionally abusive, manipulative shithead parents who deserve to be in jail. Thing is, I worry for kids whose parents are taken away like that. So I don't want you in jail. I want you to learn that what you are doing is fucked up and wrong. Get some counselling, get some fucking therapy. Change yourself, you fucking piece of shit. Before you ruin somebody's life. Oh, I should also add that as the name suggests, I'm also perimenopausal and feeling cross and miserable about the whole thing on a beautiful sunny day when I was really looking forward to the weekend. Oh, poor me. Poor suffering menopausal me. You pathetic piece of shit. You're a fucking... Fuck. Now, fortunately, the Mumsnet mums were on this one. The punishment should stay intact, but for fuck's sake don't withhold maternal affection and attention from an 8-year-old child simply because you're cross or menopausal or things don't go your way. You're the adult. Doesn't seem it right now in this situation. This child is going to end up being far too adult for their age, already making their own lunches at age 8. I can't even imagine. Horrid. It's okay to be cross and take a few minutes to recover, but what you're doing is nasty. You issue a consequence and move on. If an 8-year-old is behaving like this, then I would be thinking about why he might be doing this. Yes, why is your kid having screaming fits where he has to hide under the bed for half an hour because the restaurant is changed? You need to go to the doctors. You, yourself, to get some therapy to become a better parent, and your kid to find out what is wrong with him. Because clearly, it's probably your fault, but it might just be autism, but it's probably your fault. Your emotional manipulation and abuse has fucked him up already. You fucking horrible piece of shit. I think it's over the top. It seems to me that your darling son couldn't cope with his disappointment of having to change plans, so you are punishing him for something outside his own control. My mum used to do this to me. It really has had an effect on every relationship I have had as an adult, and I think the strongest driver of my lack of self-worth. It is emotional abuse. Grow up. My dad kind of used to do things like this to me as well. My girlfriend's parents did things like this to her as well. So I mean, like, it's quite common for these things to occur. It is the extent to which they occur, the frequency to which they occur. Even once is unacceptable. But my God, if this is a common day part of your life to the point where you're seeking advice on Mumsnet, you're the fucking problem. You fucking piece of shit. I don't. We have a discussion and a consequence if needed, but it's straight back to normal. I was brought up being given the silent treatment, etc. It's emotional abuse. Are you seriously asking us how long we emotionally abuse our children for? When you even recognise your shocking behaviour is driven by your lack of ability to manage the impact of your hormones and not even his behaviour. This is disgusting. When my child misbehaves, I talk to them about it when they are calm and follow through on an appropriate punishment. Emotional abuse is never an appropriate punishment. Withholding cuddles from an 8-year-old. This is the sort of thing that will literally make me cry if I think about it for too long. So I'm like thinking about my nephew right now and him being upset by something and choosing not to help him. God, this is the alcohol as well, but this is fucked up. You're actually horrible. You're fucking horrible, you are. Sorry, OP, but also agree this is emotional abuse. My mum used to do this to me as a child. As an adult, we are not close. Personally, I try not to emotionally abuse my child. So yeah, that's me. In a good mood because I hit 200 subscribers. Gotta kill it for myself by covering some utter shit. Thank you so much to everyone that is joining me on this journey. I know for a fact that without you guys sharing my content, liking my content, doing all that cliche stuff that YouTubers talk about, I have no chance of growing. The other YouTubers talk about it because they want to get a paycheck. I don't give a fuck about that. I just want to grow a little bit more. And because I swear, and because I cover fairly controversial subjects, I have zero chance of growing in the current YouTube sort of environment, you know, the current atmosphere that YouTube has. I can't breathe it, you know, I can't live in it. So I need you guys to keep dropping me content, keep dropping me comments, keep liking my stuff. And again, if you could just share 1 or 2 of my videos every now and then, I'd really fucking appreciate it. Check out Mumsnet. Every day, without fail, brand new cringe. Only takes 5 minutes of looking, if that. Love you guys so damn much. I'm quite drunk now. 200 subscribers, baby! Peace! I could hear him downstairs for a while, and when he finally... to his 200 subscribers is special, blah, 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 blah. Now, fortunately, the Mumsnet blah.